welcome back, Fire Addicts, to another episode of Travis Does Firewood. Today, we'll be doing some splitting maple. Alright, so I'm sure you saw in the previous episode in the background, we have this stacked pile of maple. Now, so I've started on this maple from the previous episode of bucking the maple, and before then it was getting maple logs in the wood yard. First time I've had maple logs in the wood yard, so that was a blessing, even though I had to pay for it, but it is what it is in terms of quality control. So I have bucked up all the rounds. I got a pile here and a pile over there. You see the pile of the, I think, apple wood over here from the tree service people up the road, and the balance of the wood that I got from Daniel Atkins. It is very quickly being sold at a premium. Oddly enough, him and I thought that I would have to re-split some of these pieces, but it seemed to work out almost perfect. What he splits as firewood is more or less the same size as what I would sell as in my racks, my $20 racks at a firewood stand. The other small pieces, like this piece right here, is perfect size for bundles or bags of wood. What I've been doing is taking some of this wood, bringing it inside to get away or to get off some of the moisture on the surface, and it seems to be working out fine, and customers are happy. But so this pile here, so I situated the rounds over here. This is that ugly black shed that I have in my yard that I built myself that I thought would be temporary, but it's been there for several years. It's a long story. You don't need to hear about it. But this pile here, the stack that I have here, I talked to my dad, and this wood here is going to be for my parents. I figured I do firewood. I have a firewood channel on YouTube. Why are my parents paying for firewood? So, as a gesture from me, as the oldest son, I'm going to be giving them this cord, or I'm going to stack a cord of maple for them, but they don't have room currently on their property. If I did put this in their dump trailer and haul it over there, it would be in front of their currently dried firewood that they're going to be burning this winter in the next few months. And you want the first in, first out type thing to burn. So once the season over, we can transfer this wood into their wood yard where they stack their wood. So it's touching the wood more than needed, but it is what it is. So, and because this wood will be leaning up against the shed, not ideal. I would prefer wind, air, sun capture all sides of the stack. But because this is going to be temporary and it's not wood against wood, that's tar paper, so it's not going to, in theory, not going to attract bugs. So I'm okay with that. So this bottom pallet here, zoom in on it, is 8 feet across from the corner over to that corner there. That is exactly 8 feet. But the pallet, because they're not made equally, this is not 4 feet. This is about shy. So I had to kind of use some other dunnage over there next to the shed to kind of add a little bit more inches. So then we have enough space here for 1, 2, 3 rows. And then on the sides of make sure that it's going to be exactly a cord for them, I put the upright pallet on the outside of the platform here. So that goes corner to corner, 8 feet. So, but that means that this here, from that point right there up to the top, that's not going to be 4 feet. So I need to go from this level here a few more inches up, which is fine, and then maybe add a little bit more because of shrinkage, even though it may not shrink from now to the end of winter when we're going to transfer this over to their wood yard. I don't want to be exact, but I want to make sure that, hey, to sell or to give away the cord, I want to give a cord, a full cord, and not a variation less than that. So a gift is a gift, but I mean, I'll probably give them more wood, but at least for now, I have this in the wood yard. want to process it, run us in the way. But I've been splitting it up. Now I've been using the axe. I've been using the Fiskars. It's right over there. I can't find Big Red. I think it's in my garage amongst all the cluster in there. But that's okay because I'm okay with the Fiskars for now. And I'm using the Fiskars and the axe to split up this wood right here because it does not need to be perfect. This is going to be given to my parents, and like other customers and other wood yards who sell firewood, she wants it to be smaller sizes where she can lift it up with one hand, easy peasy, rock and roll. And because it's being sold directly or be given directly to the customer, my parents, it does not need to be perfect because I'm giving it away at a larger scale. Now all pieces need to be all pretty uniform. Like this piece here would be great for a bundle piece, and this piece here would be good for a rack piece. But because I'm not going to be selling this at my firewood stand, it does not need to be perfect, therefore I don't need to use a splitter. Granted, yes, I could bring over the Champion and split this up, and it would be, I guess, in theory, a lot faster, but I'm enjoying using the axe. I don't want to do the math or do the calculations of what is faster right now. I'm just saying in terms of having to bring over the splitter, having to bend down and pick up the rounds, putting it on the splitter, or having to noodle it down real quick and then putting on the splitter because currently I don't have a log lift. So, and I think it's good exercise, kind of like Russ over at Willie's Firewood. A little bit goes a long way, as well as get that workout in. I had a physical literally a few days ago with my primary doctor, and I was mentioning firewood to him, and how I was, and he asked me what exercise I was doing, and I said firewood, and I'm like, well, so he, and with that he said, well, kind of to poke and prod further, okay, like what firewood do you do? And I'm like, I do split by hand and with my splitter, having to stack and ferry. He's like, oh, axe splitting, I do that too. And I'm like, yes, isn't exactly, it's therapy mentally and physically, and he agreed. So from my doctor to you all, using an axe is beneficial for your mental and physical health. So get on the axe. So it's not that big of a deal. I'm not in a big rush to get this out, but I think using an axe once in a while is good. And I mentioned that on my channel several times. So join me in splitting up a few of these rounds. We're gonna stack it in here first, but I want to see if I can sharpen this thing, because right now it's kind of with some nicks in it. So let me see if we can file it. Can you help me? Let's do it. All right, so we are on a little two rounds right here, and I have this janky old file. I'm not sure this is going to do anything, but I don't know if you can see kind of how the profile we got a little dent right there. It's not sharp. Now I went on to Dr. Google, and I was kind of poking and prodding to figure out, like, yeah, this is not doing much, but I'll just see what I can do with this file. About the, is it better to have a sharp axe? And I think it's safer, it's more efficient, you grab the wood better. I mean, you can Google it too, or use AI or whatever, but, and I'm not one to lecture on axes. I'm definitely not an expert. I'm maybe not even a novice, but I know how to swing an axe and use my full weight of my body with it, you know. But I guess, well, how do you sharpen your axe? Do you use a grinder? Do you use like a grinding wheel? Do you use a file? What do you use to sharpen your axe if you do use an axe? So this is not doing much because the file is used and it's garbage. So it's almost pointless to even do this exercise with this file, but I figure I would bring it out and see what I can do with it. I mean, it's doing something, but not too much. You want to keep a straight, not kind of round it if you can. I mean, look at me, I don't know what I'm doing. Anyway, all right, so let's see what this thing can do splitting wood. So I think maybe a part of the reason for this episode, move this up around, I guess maybe the point of the episode is someone in the episode that I was bucking up this wood asked, like, how easy is it going to be to split this maple? And I'll show you. And with that, you see how easy it is. Even with a little sharp, even a little bit sharpening on the axe, I split that little round into no problem. To the point where now the round fell on my tripod, the brand new tripod that I just bought, and now the leg is bent. So you have to buy several tripods when you're on YouTube. Anyway, so let's see how this goes. Now before, I was definitely splitting on the ground, and that's fine. I think that there's good. Let's use my gloves. Let's use some gloves today. I think it's good to use gloves, especially when you're going to may have blisters. Now I was at least for now. I'm not going to split on the ground. I'm gonna split on this round here. I had before, and I think that there's good, not research, but I think a lot of us do split when you're on the ground, and I'll show you that in a second. But as I was talking with Russ and Kevin on my podcast the other day, I guess over that Sunday, and how Russ got crap for splitting on the ground on his channel, and I mean you just have to be careful, folks. You just have to be careful, and if you're gonna even having to use a chainsaw, not everyone's technique is flawless. Even the pros on YouTube will make a mistake, you know. So we're not. I mean, people on YouTube are not. We're not gods and goddesses. We're people. We all make mistakes, you know. So, but even you all would make mistakes too. Not perfect, but this wood is splitting nicely. Where I don't even have to do like a full back swing with this. This is just a little tap, because a lot of this wood and maple, this wood is a straight grained. Look at that. That's beautiful. It's a beautiful piece of wood. Beautiful. Similar to the cottonwood that I got, Drop the Logs. A lot of people complain that cottonwood is gnarly and twisted. Well, the pieces with the logs that I got, they're cottonwood. That stuff was that split super easy. Super easy. It was awesome. Yeah, this is going well. This is great. Nice. Look at that. That's perfect. That's perfect. That's over here. And we'll stack it in a second. Not too shabby. Grab it a little bit. Do a little swing. Done. Done. Trying to give my parents a balance between the very small pieces and the bigger ones for like overnight pieces. For example, get out of here. Mini red in the way. I'm not sure if this type works. When it's on its side like this, do you ever do that with your axe? It works sometimes, not all the time. This stuff is green. It's definitely wet. Definitely heavy. But this is going to be some gorgeous firewood. Gorgeous firewood. And I'm glad to be able to provide for my parents, to make sure that they're warm. And a lot of you like the splitting video, so I'll just keep splitting for you. So like this piece here, like I'm not sure they will split. I haven't yet come across a piece or a round that was too gnarly, twisted for me to do with the axe, or if I had to stop and pause and not use the axe, use the the champion. So far, so good. Knock on wood. But yeah, it's been going well thus far. And I think that a lot of you would be like, yeah, it's crazy. I'm not going to do that by hand. It's a lot of manual labor. Well, we have machines and tools to keep us safe and have us not work as hard, right? But I think that there's something to say for using an axe. And you don't need to be an expert to split wood by hand. It's not like I split wood by hand every day. There are people who split wood by hand, and that's what they do, how they do their firewood. I'm not one of them, but it's nice to be able to recognize the exercise of splitting wood. Anyway, I'll just start talking. Just splitting. But yeah, to the viewer who commented on the episode that I was bucking up this maple, this stuff is obviously splitting up quite easily and nicely. It's almost a dream. It's almost like there's no point to even use the splitter, because with an axe, it just splits so easily and simple, where you don't even have to use that much power or effort or energy. It just splits. You know, it just splits. Again, these cuts don't need to be perfect. As long as my parents can lift them, and it's firewood. It's done. It's rock and roll. All right, so let's break into another round here. All right, this one may need a bit more persuasion. That's fine. Now I'm doing this and not worrying because I'm on grass. So if I go through or I miss, it's gonna go in the grass, dirt, so it's not gonna mess up the blade of the axe, in theory, right? Less so than, come on, less so than if it's on gravel or concrete slab. There we go. Done. I guess like a pickaroon would be helpful in this situation, having to throw the pieces in a pile. I don't know. You tell me down in the comments, pickaroon and whatnot. Check this out. What I'm doing mostly is attacking the outsides. And I'm not going for the center. I'm going for the outsides and working my way in. And because this wood is not going to be sold in my firewood stand, therefore it does not need me be pretty or uniform size-wise, just enough that someone can lift it up with one hand, i.e. my mom. That was a knot right here. That will work. So using an axe like this is fine in this situation. And because I'm attacking it from, come on, attacking it from the inside or from the outside in, that seems to go fine. And I'll show you what I want to talk about in a second when I get to a bigger round. But this stuff here is splitting oh so nice. Oh so nice. I mean, like, you can see how effortless this is to split into smaller chunks. It's not too bad at all. Like I'm having to split up campfire wood with the hatchet. Definitely. So okay, so let's get into this bigger round here. Flip it up like this. All right, so worm falling down. No, worm, no, falling down. Okay, so this round here is quite big, and I think that you and I can agree that this is the bigger round. Now, this would be, because it's maple and it's green, this would be a beast to get up on my splitter to split. So with this round here, either I would noodle it, or I would put my champion in vertical mode and split down the center, maybe down again to make this into quarters. So then I could put back the splitter into horizontal mode because it's a transformer, and then split it into smaller pieces. But I want to get your take on this. Can an axe take place of noodling? And is that universal? Can that be replaced in all scenarios? Or can it only be done in certain species or certain wood? Let's try it out. Knock out that edge. Split right there. Again. So you notice that I'm not going down the middle. I'm tacking the sides. I'm tacking the sides. Ah. So right now we're trying to make it smaller so it's more manageable, right? All we're trying to do. And again, I'm not an expert, not claiming I'm an expert. So if you have any more tips, let me know in the comments. Ooh, got some rot right here. That's not good. I don't want to give my parents rot. Well, we'll get that second. One piece right there. All right, let's keep going. On the outside. Yes. There we go. Yep. Yep. And yep. And yep. And yep. That's how we do it. Right there. Outside. Outside. So you can go over here on this side. Outside. Coming off. Outside. Outside. Working my way from the outside to the in. Outside to the in. I'm going to address this here. And as I go, obviously, from the outside, I get closer to the inside. To get axe to the meat, to the good stuff. I mean, it's all good stuff, right? But you know what I'm saying. Whoa! Casualty. Again, the camera. Again, not an expert at swinging the axe. They got away from me. I apologize. Are you okay? Did I get you? I'm sorry. I apologize. I didn't mean to. I mean, I'm not an expert, okay? So, forgive me. Are you okay? So you need to go to the hospital? You're fine? Okay. Anyway, as I was splitting, now these are more manageable pieces. Even if you had the big chunk here, which I think is too big to stack for firewood, it needs to be cut down, it needs to be split down at least once over, again, to make two pieces, right? But even if you're taking this to the splitter, you can pick this up, put it on the deck, and split it, type thing, versus having to spend the time, bring your saw out, and noodle it. Now, a lot of people swear by noodling, and I'm not going to tell you what is better. I'm giving you another option. Now, that could be obvious to a lot of you. Yes, Travis, instead of having to noodle a big round or pick it up with my bare hands, I do what you're doing. I use an axe. Either you're using an axe or a maul or a metal wedge and a sledgehammer, and you're going to make that round smaller by hand. What I'm saying, my point right here is using just an axe and making the bigger round smaller in a matter of seconds, either to make it manageable pieces or smaller pieces directly for firewood, directly to be thrown into a pile or stacked in a stack. But what I'm saying is, noodling is not always needed. If you're able, have an axe, you can swing it, you can cut and split with an axe. Why not do this? I'm not saying attack the middle. Not what I'm saying. You saw me, I work from the outside in. The outside in. Let me know if I'm onto something. Does that make sense to you? Having to go from the outside in on a bigger round and not have to worry about noodling with the saw, not have to worry about bringing in a maul or a sledgehammer, metal wedge, putting it or having to lift it. I mean, yes, if you had a splitter with a log lift, put it on the log lift and ran that thing home. Make that firewood. I'm saying not everyone has a log lift, is my point. Log lifts are awesome. Not all of us have a log lift. Not all of us have a log splitter. So I think what I'm talking about, come on, makes sense. Working your way outside in when you're having to tackle a bigger firewood round. This is the piece with the rot in it. So turn around, and then I'll throw it in the pile for now myself. Now, there's other rounds of firewood that I split up, that I bucked up, right, from those logs that I got from the tree clearing guy. I'm not sure what to do with the other cord. I think there's going to be 2 cords of wood, maybe 2.5 of wood, stacked wood. I'm not sure what to do with that other cord. Since one cord spoken for, like I mentioned, I'm going to give it to my parents. But what do I do with the other cord? So I'm thinking either I contact one of my customers that are grandfathered in to receiving cords from me, but they didn't get one this past winter because I didn't have any wood, or I have that cord be for personal, for myself. Now, I'm still selling some of my personal hardwood, not very frequently, but I do have hardwood, but I tend to sell it, even though I split it for my own wood yard, but I tend to sell it because I have it and it brings in a good amount of money. So I'm not sure what to do about that. So let me show you my idea one more time, and then we will wrap it up, okay? Okay, so we can all agree again, this is the big round. Another big one. So let's see if I can tackle it from the outside in. All right, I hope that that's a better angle of the dangle for you to see what I'm talking about when I work all sides of this round. See? Boom. Ah. Boom. And even if, I mean, that's not the bark side, but going to the heart, because now here is the outside. Nice little slab, beautiful. Skipping off. Wow. Wow. She didn't want to go. There we go. Wow. So we went from that big round, right, to like this piece here, and you can pick that up. That's fine, it's no problem. And this piece here, you can pick that up. The point is to have a piece of wood that you can put on your splitter to split. Yes, you can continue on and split the whole thing with an axe. Whew, I'm winded. That's a workout. That feels good. Energy comes alive with the axe. You feel the power of the axe. Anyway, what I was saying is, the point is, you could not do as many splits I just did, or do as many as I did, and then you take a slab like this skinny piece, and you put it on your splitter, and you go down the middle, I mean, 3 times, and you have firewood. As opposed to having to take the time and noodle each round. Now, I think when you noodle, let me get my axe here. I think I talk better with my axe in my hand. There we go, that feels better. I think a lot of people noodle because it saves their body. And that I get. I'm not saying there's no place for noodling. What I'm saying is there's a time and a place for noodling, and sometimes noodling isn't always the best thing. If you're able, get that axe out. I'm not saying spend $125 on a brand new Fiskars or a new handle or new head or whatever nice fancy axe you got on there. You can find a used axe or find one for your grandpa in the garage. You can use whatever. I mean, granted, there's axes for splitting, for felling, for other types. So use an axe appropriately. This one here, I believe, is for splitting because it has the profile, you know. But so my point is, if you have the physical ability and have the means, i.e., an axe that can split, that's sharp enough, right? And you feel that you're able to do it safely, break it out. Break it out and split up those bigger rounds with the inside out. Now, you can totally tackle the middle and do that and hit it several times until it splits open. You can do that too. But then you're having to still have bigger chunks. But if you are able to split with an axe, use the axe and make those smaller pieces. This piece here is not yet, let me put this down. This piece here is not yet firewood. It's a chunk. But I can still lift this from the ground with ease and put it on the splitter and make it the size split that I want. That's the point. As opposed to you noodle and you're going to go in halves, 1/4, or if it's big enough, maybe 8s to make sure that it's big enough for you to pick up by hand, put it on the splitter, either horizontal or vertical splitter, to make your split. So I don't want to drag this on too long. I think you understand my point that having a split from the outside in can lessen the chance that you need a noodle if you're able to and if you have the means. Those are the 2 caveats, and I get it. Anyway, thank you for joining me in splitting today. I wish you were here splitting with me. Maybe next time. But thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. Until next time, remember, life is short to be a prick, so be kind to one another. Rock and roll, stay safe, keep cutting. Cheers.